It's March 30th, 2026. A developer named 𝐀𝐛𝐨𝐮𝐭 is sitting at his desk on a Microsoft Teams call. He's been chatting with this group for weeks, a tech founder, and a few other open source engineers. What looks like legitimate industry collaboration. Suddenly, his audio cuts out during the call. A pop-up tells him his system needs an update. He's in a live meeting. People are waiting, so without hesitation, he clicks install. That single click just gave a group of attackers access to a piece of code downloaded over 100 million times every week. And nobody, including 𝐀𝐻𝐭, will know for another 3 hours. To understand how one click on a routine pop-up became one of the most dangerous software compromises in history, you need to know what 𝐀𝐻𝐭 was actually protecting, and why someone went through so much trouble to get him. Most of the internet runs on a programming language called JavaScript. And JavaScript developers don't build everything from scratch. They use building blocks, little packages of code shared by other developers. Think of them like Lego bricks. There's a giant warehouse called NPM where millions of these bricks are stored, and developers grab the ones that they need. One of the most grabbed bricks in that entire warehouse is called Axios. It's the thing that lets apps talk to the internet, the invisible infrastructure behind logging in, checking your bank balance, scrolling your feed. 100 million times a week, someone pulls that brick off the shelf. But Axios isn't a corporation-built block. It's open source, so there's no security team or engineering budget backing it. Just one guy, 𝐀𝐻𝐿, who maintains it simply out of love for open source. 𝐀𝐻𝐿 did everything right. Two-factor authentication on everything, security aware, technically skilled. Exactly the kind of guy you would like being behind an open source project. Exactly the kind of guy you think couldn't be fooled. That Teams call wasn't what it looked like. The tech founder on the other end didn't exist. Every part of the call was a fabrication, smoke and mirrors, built by a group called 𝗷cie𝗶ဖိһ, a financially motivated offshoot of the North Korea Lazarus Group, the same group that robs cryptocurrency exchanges for the regime, and they'd found a new kind of target. The approach was a masterclass in deception. Weeks before that call, they deepfaked the founder's face and cloned their voice, convincing enough to pass on camera. From there, they built a fully branded Slack workspace with the company's real logos, real LinkedIn posts, shared in channels, and fake profiles of other open source developers so 𝐀𝐻𝐿 wouldn't think he'd been invited into some exclusive industry group. For weeks, they just chatted and built rapport like any new professional connection. Every step was designed to reach one moment, to make 𝐀𝐻𝐿 click install on that pop-up during the call. When he clicked install, instead of a system update, he downloaded a remote access Trojan. And just like that, with one click, the attackers were sitting inside 𝐀𝐻𝐿's machine, watching everything. When 𝐀𝐻𝐿 found out, he posted, "I have two-factor authentication, multi-factor on practically everything I interact with." He couldn't figure out how it happened. But 𝐀𝐻𝐿 wasn't careless. He was outmatched by a government operation designed to beat someone exactly like him. The attackers didn't hack Axios right away. Instead, they found something much better. A long-lived NPM access token, a kind of digital key that lets you publish code to that warehouse we talked about. This particular key was old enough that it bypassed all the modern security checks. 𝐀𝐻𝐿 probably forgot it existed. When everything was set up, the attackers did something brilliant. They didn't change a single line of Axios code, not one. Instead, they added one tiny entry to a configuration file, a new dependency called plain crypto.js. If a code reviewer saw it, they'd shrug because it looked like a normal crypto library, but it wasn't. Plain crypto.js wasn't just a clone of a real library. It was a Trojan horse designed to operate as a high-velocity remote access Trojan, also called a RAT. The moment a developer installed compromised versions of Axios, specifically version 1.14.1 or 0.30.4, NPM triggered a hidden post-install script called setup.js in a mere 1.1 seconds. This script executed a precision strike. It identified your operating system, whether it be Windows, Linux, or Mac OS, and downloaded a platform-specific payload. On Windows machines, it established persistence by nesting a malicious file in C program data 𝗷cie_, effectively opening a backdoor to a command and control server and stealing sensitive data. Then came the evacuation phase. To evade even the most diligent security teams, the malware deleted its own setup.js script and swapped in clean files. If you checked your computer moments later, everything looked perfectly normal. The only remaining trace was a single line buried in a log file that most developers never bother opening. But the real damage wasn't on Jason's machine. You didn't need to install Axios directly to get hit, because thousands of other packages depend on Axios. And if you installed anything that depended on something that depended on Axios, during those 3 hours, the malware rode along silently with it. You downloaded something that downloaded something that downloaded the exploit. That's what a supply chain attack is. The whole thing was live for about 3 hours. And in that window, developer workstations, build servers, and automated pipelines that pulled the new version all got compromised. Researchers at Google and Microsoft traced the operation with high confidence back to North Korea, a group that built its reputation robbing cryptocurrency exchanges and banks had figured out something new. Why rob individual vaults when you can exploit the blocks that every vault is made of? Jason's hacked Slack invite took a few weeks of friendly conversation and gave North Korea a door into thousands of companies, hospitals, and banks simultaneously. It turns out the cheapest way into the internet isn't through the blocks of code, but through the people who maintain them for free on weekends.